So you're welcome. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. You're welcome. You're welcome to another edition of the Afro-Social Workers Forum, Germany. But not just another edition, a very special edition of the Afro-Social Workers Forum. You're welcome. We thank you so very much for taking out your time to come listen to us. We thank you very much for giving us the gift of your time because we know that it is because of the trust that you have for the work that we are doing that you're giving us this time. So we are not taking that for granted. We appreciate you. And in today's conversation, if you have seen the flyers already on Facebook and on other social media platforms, we are having a very special edition of our conversation today. And I'm sure that everyone, you should be here, be part of the conversation, join the conversation. Let's heal together, let's exchange together. But remember, that we are talking at the professional level, so we are not going to come in with that much emotions to destroy. We're going to talk just like professionals are going to talk. So please stay tuned while we are coming up for the conversation. So you're welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, everyone. Thank you already for tuning. I appreciate you all who are here. And today's conversation is a very special one. We are going to be talking about the boy child. And there is a reason why we are talking about the boy child today. There has been a video that has been going on the different social media platforms, and we have realized that there's been hurt. Women have been hurt, their feelings have been hurted, and we have seen lots of effects of racism that has come out again. We've seen a lot of things that we could talk about today, but we're not going to go on the area of the blame game. No, we want to really have a way to solve this challenge in our community. And so I want to invite you, my sisters, my brothers, wherever you are, to join this conversation and the conversation of upbringing of a boy child. What it takes to bring up a boy child, why the boy child, what the community must do, and of course, the role of a social worker in supporting the boy child, but of course, also the role of the social worker in healing the community, because we know it is our assignment to heal the community. Thank you so very much. I welcome my colleague Helen. Helen, you're welcome. How are you today?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I quite
Mhm.
appreciate your effort in bringing me up to this topic today. And yes, it's a very emotional topic for all of us. And I must
Mhm.
admit, it's one of the most difficult yeah, topics that we usually have around in the community.
It is a difficult one, I'm very sure, but I know that we are also going to have a mastery over it, because not only that we are social workers, we are also mothers, we are also parents, and therefore I'm sure that we are going to find a way to solve these challenges. There has been a video that has gone up in the community, and many people have really been very, very hot about it, and especially our women. The challenging part of it is that our kings, those that we look up to like kings, that were supposed to be prince, said some kind of funny stuff that were really, really not too enthusiastic and were not really, really good towards their queens and their mother queens and their princesses. So that's why we changed the topic of today. Remember, up to now we have been having the conversation of strengthening parents, and so today we had to have this special conversation. Ma'am, tell us a little bit more on upbringing of a boy child.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Ellen Batemona-Abeke. I'm a social worker. Together with Vera Sompon, we have established this network of African Afro-Social Workers in Germany. And every Tuesday, we have a topic on upbringing or topics. We bring up topics that we feel that are affecting our people in this society that we find ourselves in. I represent Pamoja Africa Association that is based here in Cologne. And Pamoja Africa is an association and an institution that has been established by Africans, or for people that are working with Africans here in the city of Cologne. And we are handling topics about upbringing of children and also about racism, fighting racism and discrimination, empowerment for us, and also diversity management issues. We've also introduced a concept that is called awareness, and it is with this awareness concept that we are trying to look at what are the things going on in the society we find ourselves, and how can we develop a sensitive approach in different topics. Now, this topic has been brought to our attention. I think we have received more than 100 calls from different African people who have been, and this is mostly girls or women. We have ladies who are very, very much affected by this topic. And we don't want to blame, as Vera said, it's not a blaming game, but we want to find out how we can advise and how we can try to make people heal from those wounds, those bruises that have been caused by this video. For those that have not seen this video, it's a video from young men. My information tells me that they're based in Hamburg, and they have put up a video on YouTube that is confirming a lot of prejudices against Black women, and it's, to our understanding, very insultive, and this has brought a lot of a lot of annoyance, and people feel very degraded. Women feel very, very disrespected, and we just now want to bring in this topic to see how come that such a topic came up from our sons or our kings, as Vera said, and what is it that we can do preventive to avoid the community doing or people bringing up such topics that are degrading. Because when I listened to this video, it could even come from those people that hate Africans. It could be from KKK, it could be from AFD. And this is why it is really, really heartbreaking to listen to this. From those that have written to us or called us in person, they say they did not even manage to listen to it to the very end because it was very hurting. Now, why has it become our topic? We are social workers, and we are, for those that know what we've been talking about, for a couple of weeks now, we have been talking about upbringing children in this society. And one of the reasons is, we know in African culture, we have a saying that I like saying that says, it takes a whole village to educate one child. Now, we African social workers, we are coming in because we have seen how the community is united. That means we are very sensitive, that we are very much awake, that we are watching out what is going on there, what is being sent outside there, by who and how is it being sent. We like this, and we must appreciate the community. We must appreciate the girls. Must appreciate the young ladies who have taken it upon themselves even to write to these people, to these young men, and even to go to them. We saw even a video where they trying to go to visit them and have a dialogue with them. And they were so clear, they trying to explain to them why this video should not be in existence. So we are going to come to our recommendations, what we think about this video, but we want to appreciate the community for this responsibility that you have taken. And we really hope that we'll remain like this, united, that we'll be watching what is being sent outside there by who about us. And if we have a possibility, we quickly try to correct, because we are changing the narratives. We are changing how stories are being said about us and who is saying them. It could be also from us, but it doesn't mean that we are all on the same level. So without degrading anyone, we as African social workers, we are calling on the removal of this video from the social media, because there is no justification why this video should be out there in the public. This is a very wise appeal from us, African social workers. We have no contact with these young men, and we are telling them, we advise them to remove it from the social media for the sake of healing. And we are also requesting them to apologize to the girls, to apologize to the community, to apologize to their own mothers who they have in the process insulted, because we sent it takes a whole village to educate a child. So they have not only insulted one person or confirmed prejudices that are out there being sent by people who have certain issues about us the way we are. We want this topic not to exist among ourselves. Thank you very much. Now, we should I continue?
Yes, go on, ma'am.
So we are first of all asking, we are saying as African social workers that we want to build trust and support the community in dealing with such matters. We know we've been talking about healing. We've been the community. There are so many different things that are being spoken about. How can we heal? And in the process of healing, we can also bring ourselves down again so that we can constantly rise. It will be wonderful to check how are we talking, how are we, what is it we are writing about ourselves, what is it we are presenting outside there. And now this video, we want to go back to the upbringing of children. The last days or the last weeks, we have talked about the social law book that governs the education of young children and adults, young adults also here in Germany. And we emphasized on paragraph 1 from the social law book, chapter 8. I mean chapter 8, and we talked of the first paragraph of the law that says that every child has a right of being brought up well. Every child has a right of having parents who are responsible, and every child has a right of being supported to develop and to grow to be a responsible young adult or an adult in future in the society. Now, the question is, what does this now video has to do with upbringing? We have to be very careful. We do not want to condone the parents of these young people, because most of the callers that were calling us, the first thing they were like, when they got this video, they were like, who born these children? Who is the mother? Who is the father of these children? And at one time, we had to tell people, let's try to distance the parents. Let's try to separate the two. The parents are not the ones that talked. It's young adults. And now we have to look in details. What is the message in this video? And where are these young men coming from with their video? What is it that we feel if you read or you listen to it in between the paragraphs? You feel there is frustration. This is our view from the professional part of it. We feel some frustration. We feel there is something that is missing. There's something that is lacking, and and um, and they need support. Therefore, we are calling on the mothers, we are calling on the fathers of young adults in this country to be more closer to them, to talk. We are calling and asking for, let there be dialogues so that some things like this can be discussed at home first before they go out in the public. I'm very sure that if this is possible, we can tackle most of the problems that we are having around. So we need to call on Black fathers, Black mothers to communicate a lot with their children, with their young people about anything that is coming up. It's very, very important. It's not enough now to say you are talking too much or you are asking for too much. This is not important anymore. We have to talk about everything. We have to bring up the children, teaching them to talk, not to swallow things. It's gone are the days where we used to send children, go to your room. When they ask something, you're talking too much. It doesn't happen. Let them ask too much. As they ask too much, you're answering too much. And because one secret I need to tell parents today, if your children ask you questions and you don't answer them, they will go outside to look for an answer. And now this is where you fail. The answers they are going to get outside there, you cannot control them. And there is
Mhm.
no guarantee that these answers are correct. So let's train to talk to our children about different topics. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Helen. Thank you also for the appel that you have given to the community in your conversation or in your talk. You really mentioned the fact that there was a quick reaction from the side of the community, and we really received lots of information from the community. Truly, I join with you to say, wow, this was an amazing one. In as much as the community usually think that we are not united, but this case, and in this case, there was a kind of unity that was beyond imagination. And of course, women as well as men spoke out about the videos. And then you went further and said that we train the child in the African way, is entire community, the entire village. And that's exactly the Ubuntu system. And that's what makes it also particular because, of course, the community really reacted like a community and like a village. And we are so proud of the African community doing what they are doing today. I also like the fact that you mentioned that we are not yet to have that blame game. The father is wrong or the mother is wrong, and what went wrong. That's not our conversation. We have also apologized on behalf of these young people because we feel that apology would be a good way to start with it, to say, hey, we are sorry for what happened and the hurt that we received. Each one of us received via this video. We are very sorry about it. But like Helen also said, we are also recommending and really demanding that the young people, because they claim that they are not really doing to disrespect the women, let them pull out this video from every social media. If they could do that, would be a very good way as well to recompensate the
Maybe
community. Now I have a question. Yes, ma'am.
maybe we can end on this. There was a second video that was sent from the same people when the young girls went to approach them, when the ladies went to approach them, they sent another video. And if you listen to this video, which I watched from the beginning to the end, there was a tendency of relativating everything that was being said. This also shows how serious they are taking this topic. To be honest, till the last minute, I did not have a feeling that they understood what the ladies were saying. And this is why we are saying, as a sign of yes, we have understood, they should openly do a video saying, we apologize. We
Yeah.
are because when you send out something out there, you may be having some certain intentions, but you cannot control how people are going to perceive it. So if
Yes.
you are not sure of what message you want to relay out there, stop doing video for the sake of keeping yourself busy. So this is very important. And that's why we are calling on a total removal, so that you can say, so that these young people can say that they have understood and that they have taken what the ladies and the mothers are saying serious. But as long as this video is in circulation, it is going to be a trigger. It's going to cause a lot of division between young women and young men of African descent. It's going it's going to be used as a reference. What does a video in YouTube mean? It can be used even as a teaching material. I teach, and I know sometimes we go into YouTube to pick videos, and this is like a discussion from the opponents, that the people ate this broccoli. So Please, young men, I don't know how your program is called. Remove this video from the social media for the sake of healing, and also for the sake of us and the young people that have been insulted to feel taken serious. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Helen. And this takes me to my first question. And before we get to our question, we want to recognize a few people who are here. Thank you for being here. Martina, I'm seeing you. Osare, I'm seeing you. Mori, Alphonsine, Jerry, Mori. We see all of you. And we have yes, some commentary. I want us to go check on that. Alphonsine is asking, can this conversation be in German? Well, our platform for today is not in German. That's why we can't have the conversation now in German. But we have other platforms where we also speak German. And yes, next time we are going to try to translate into French so that you all also can benefit from it. Salut, Alphonsine. And then we want to also appreciate Jerry. Dr. Jerry says that communication with our young Black men is so very important. And then she goes further again and says, white young men never gather to speak ill about white women. And this takes me to my question, ma'am. Do you think, because in your speech you said there's a lot of frustration coming in and all that, what is the role of racism in such character? Do you think that somehow the internalization of the white superiority, or again racism, has affected somehow the mindset of our young people?
Yes, it has been scientifically proved that internalization of racism leads to unconscious self-hate. This is a statement that means that this if a group of people is always living in racism, the racism we've been talking about for years, for months now in this country, we are now seeing the result of this racism, because every day you keep on hearing you're not good, you're not like this, you're this and that. You internalize it, it becomes a norm to you. And so the next thing you'll be giving it out. And so you don't even know which direction you are giving it, because it becomes a part of you. So that's why we are saying these are the results of racism, and we are really not trying to blame the white people that are responsible for racism. But it is clear, we have even had, for example, we have had even Black people calling themselves N-word, this N-word. We have had, they say it's not a problem. Or we have had some saying that, calling strange names to the children born between Africans and Germans. So this is why we say that this is as a result of this internalized racism that leads unconsciously or consciously to self-hate, and they feel that the others are more better than them. We have learned also in trainings about even speakers who say that when they were young, they even wanted to change their skin color. We see people also bleaching so that they can be light, because they hate the black in them. Yeah, so this is really clear. It has played a major role in the upcoming of this video, but I don't know if these young people have gone this far to realize what this means to them. And that's why we are calling on mothers and fathers to really know how to play a major role and to be active people in the society when it comes to knowing what is racism, so that they don't just uh, make it part of their bringing of the children in the family. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And but this, I will still hit on that question because we are having a lot of comments here. We have Dr. Jerry who says those young men hate their blackness, their roots, and their culture. and and she goes further again and say miseducation of low self-esteem, because this is what racism does to the black person, right? So again, we are now saying when we internalize this racism, it has all these effects that makes us feel small and makes us feel we are not worthy. But my question is not even again directly on the worthiness, but on the communication and the language. How did racism affect and the self hate affect the word and the speech or communication? Because what they said, I mean, they really had no time to reflect. And even when the young ladies went to have a conversation with them, you could see realize that they were not conscious and they were not able to say, you know what, for the sake of peace, we are sorry. I mean, I am sorry or we are sorry would have just calmed down everything. What do you think? Where is this kind of mindset coming from that even our young people who believe and think that they have grown in this community are unable to communicate properly?
Because they have not been taught to communicate at all. They have not learned to communicate. The other day, I was asking. I never went to school in this country. I never went to a regular school in this country. I just went to a higher institution. So I was asking some students I was with last week, do you even learn debating in school? Because back home we used to have debating clubs, and the
Mhm.
debating club is where we used to learn how to present our
Defend our topics.
defend our topic and to talk, to go deeper and not to answer things literally. I think and I asked, do you have this as part of your lesson? And the young children told me once in a while they have it as a club in school. So we can, and now imagine this, that at home, the parents are maybe too busy going to look for work, working very odd hours. When they come home, they are tired. And really, this is not a prejudice that I'm confirming, but I work in a counseling center, and I know that the majority of our people, their routine, even my routine, I know myself. I tend to be very self-conscious that in as much as this society is making me rotate day and night, I have children, and as long as you get children in this society, you have to be present. If you're not present, then you're going to, so many things are going to just happen without you knowing. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that, how have these young people learned how to communicate? Who did they see so except the teacher in school? And even this teacher is always looking down upon them. Do they see parents communicating? Do they see somewhere where black people are communicating, and where they have been trained from the very young age to communicate without even judging? So it has a lot about upbringing. That's why I really feel that this topic is belonging. It's part of our topic that has been ongoing, and that's why we even decided to make it a special edition, because it's a very, very important. Now, if I look at the people who attend our program, from the names, you can tell majority of them are women.
Yes.
Where are the fathers to watch these programs? Do you want to tell me Facebook is only for women?
No, not at
It's
all.
not. I don't know. I don't have a list of who is watching, but from the names I always see you project here, I see names of Jerry, I see names of Caroline, I see names of Maureen, I see Rose, I see Mary, I see Jane. I don't see names like James. I don't see names like Mustafa. Where are the
We have one name like Richard Sompon who is
Thank
there
you,
watching
thank
now.
you, thank you, Mr. Sampon, for representing us. So we want to see a lot of fathers. We want to see pastors. We want to see those community opinion leaders. Those men should be participating in such programs so that they can listen. And the next day we are going to have them as guests so that they can also. We need mentors for these young men. Now, if we make it only an issue of women and young girls, it's we are still going to continue lifting only the young ladies, and then there's going to be a gap like this. The young people are going to remain down there. The society is already stepping on them, and now there will be no common language at all. because the sisters are very far, the brothers are lagging behind, and the result, because of lack of self-esteem, is going to be something like this video that has been produced. So this is a very serious matter. It's a very serious matter, and that's why we talked at the very beginning. We said that it's one of the difficult topics that we have, because we have to be very careful. We are social workers, we are women, we are mothers, we are wives. So as we are talking, we have to weigh everyone that we have to say,
That's it.
so that it's not just being said women are teaming up against men. We won't be saying, those women are they, who are the husbands to those two women. So we are weighing a lot of things, and we really want to call on our men. We want to call on our pastors. We want to call on the community opinion leaders. We need mentors for our young men. Stand up for these young men in this society. Otherwise, we are going to continue. It's going to be even worse than our generation. Because with these young girls, these young ladies that are every day on the way as activists, they are empowering themselves. They are taking self-care is their topic. They pour out in a group what they go through. Whereas our young men are just on their own. They don't have anyone to talk to. So we have
That's true.
to
We're going to come to the conversation again. Maury says something which is very pertinent. I want us to go into that. And Maureen says you will never find other men from other races talking bad about their women. The willingness of most black men and boys to talk ill about their women really puzzles me. But before we come to that conversation, I really want to appreciate someone, because I think that when I'm looking at all the names here and all the people here, at least that I can see, he is there. And I really want to use this opportunity to say, hey, thank you, Pastor Sompon Richard. That's my husband, who has always stood behind me and who is always fighting for justice. And it doesn't really matter for him if it's a woman or it's a male. His interest is just being just and being godly. Thank you, sir, for your support. God bless you. I just thought that I had to appreciate him for being here. So we go to the question of Maureen, or to the conversation Maury is trying to bring up. Ma'am, what do you think? This is so a difficult conversation that I really don't know how to state my questions. In the video, we had lot of someone said misverständnis, a lot of misunderstanding. That's what they're trying to say. And the person wants us, I want to put it here, to really go and to check what is true in that and what is not. And that wasn't our conversation today. Actually, our conversation today is to give space and to see how we can support the young boy or the male. Because in the community where we have been grown and we are growing up, we realize that the men have their own frustrations as well. And that comes from diverse areas. How can we really give a supporting hand to the male gender or to the male human being so that they can become more self-confident and understand that they, as kings or as prince, there are ways that one have to go about with certain things, and there are some languages that we are not actually, as queens or as kings, supposed to use. How can we support people and young male in our community?
again, it is us women now supporting. But now we are going to talk as social workers. We are appealing to the fathers to be more present in the upbringing of their sons and their daughters. Let them be present so that they can bring up young men and women that they want to see tomorrow in a society.
Mhm.
We are telling mothers to be more critical also in upbringing their children. Let me give an example. And now it is not women now spreading dirty clothes in the public. When I was a child, I just remember that even at a very tiny age, even 3 years, I'm being told, watch how you are sitting. When you sit with your legs open, you're going to be quickly reminded, put your legs together. The man can just stay anyhowly. So I think that we sometimes we are more strict with the girls. and we just leave the men, the young boys, to um, to spread themselves the way they want. I am very conscious of this because I'm a mother of three boys. I don't have a daughter. So it was very important for me from the very beginning to also, because I realized if I'm not careful, I'm going to be a nanny at home. Bring having three boys and and their father. So I live with men. So it was very important for me to balance what is being done at home. That if I do everything, then these men, these young boys, they will not know how to what is supposed to be done at home later. And I knew that I will be responsible for who they are going to be later, because if I just favorize, I say this is not a work for a boy, this is only for women to clean, to cook, to do this, then I'm messing up with my children. So that's why we are calling on mothers to be a bit more critical. What is it that you are letting your son go with? Are you just allowing your son to be shouting to the sister? And if the sister raises her hand, you're going to say, you can't talk to your brother like this. Do you know what this simple statement means to this young girl? Do you know what this statement means to this young boy? So we have to deconstruct, as Jerry is saying, we have to deconstruct these Eurocentric views about gender and differences. We have to lift the girls and at the same time lift the boys. You lift your children up both. You don't bring these gender differences. And I know that there are studies here and there saying that there is a difference. Yes, when we realize this, then we need to be even more strict with the boys, because we need to empower them to be the men that we want them to be tomorrow. Now, there is a question also about when I saw this video, I asked myself, do these young men know what African pride means? Because you can't just come to undress your queen in the public. Something must be seriously very wrong. Yeah. So that is why we really have to tell these young, we have, as we are bringing up the children, we have to make them know about their roots, back to the roots. I was having a conversation with some male colleagues, and they were like, if this video happened in an African country, these young men would be in serious trouble, and not from the women but from the men. So those kind of men, they are the same men we want here. They are the same fathers. Nothing has changed. It's just the society that is so hard on them. And they just need to be aware that the society is just there to break a black man or a black boy, to bring them down. So by us just staying there and say, okay, the society doesn't like us, you are giving them room to even degrade you more. So I'm calling on all social workers, as we are doing projects, let's not just ignore this part that is not getting any approval in the society. Let us also use our privileges as women sometimes to lift boy child. Like we have here in Cologne a lot of single fathers. We have very young single fathers that they are raising children. So these ones, they are, and the mostly even these girls, these children are even girls. So what provisions are we there? If we see the society is favoring us or is having a lot of things that we women can profit from, let us please try to share this, because in the trauma world, sometimes we say that you have sometimes to work with the oppressor to help the oppressed. Thank you very much.
And that is very true. I'm just reading some of the comments, and
One
it's
second.
really heartbreaking, and I want to comment on those. It is really challenging. We have Teresa. I wanted to talk on Teresa. Teresa Stein, who says the boy child has to be made aware that they are human, fragile, and have feelings just like the girl child, and that it is well to express themselves at any level without being prejudiced. Thank you very much, Teresa. This is a very important aspect also of our work, and I think that because the boy child has always been made somehow to feel that they are special, but not special in the term of positive special, special because they are supposed to be a man. And then you ask yourself, what is being a man? If insulting queens makes you be a man and cool, then something is wrong, right? And I think that this is really time for us to really say, hey, let parents, mothers, fathers educate and upbring human beings as human beings. I had a conversation, ma'am, with some men last year. I was shocked at this conversation. 28, almost 28 men were in the hall, and I asked them the question, hey, without being prejudiced, without thinking anything, I asked them, if your young self, now that you're a mature man of 45, 50, and your young self of 25 came to marry your precious, priceless, beautiful daughter, would you gladly give that your daughter to that your young self? Ma'am, you will not believe it. No one of them could raise their hands up. And then I asked them the question, if you can't raise your hand up, it means you are conscious of the fact that your attitude, your character, your behavior is really, really destructive. And I told them, take time to reflect of being a human being and not a man, reflect of being just a person and not a boy or a girl. Just be a human being. And if we act rightly as human beings, we will not be thinking, this is for women and this is for men. The proof in Germany is that, actually, the first time I came to Germany, I saw the woman driving a lorry, and I was like, what? Because in Cameroon, they said it's only men who drive such big cars. And
Yeah.
I was like looking, and I could not stop looking this woman driving. That was the moment I realized there's been something going on which is not really correct.
Yeah.
And Dr. Jerry said something about it. This Eurocentric approach of gender. What if we just stay on human being and then help the young man and the young boy to understand that he's a human being and he has all the rights of his feelings, that is true, and has all the rights to express himself, but also has the right to really say, hey, I need help. Because I think that something has gone wrong from that angle. What do you think?
This is very, very interesting because, as you said, you went and talk with these young men. I also went and talk with them, some young men, and they were like, they are not good wives to marry in Europe. And I'm like, are you a good husband? So he did not understand. He said, I said, are you a good husband? I said, why did you ask me this? I said, because if you want to have a good wife, then you must be also ready to be a good husband. So there is a serious problem. There is a serious problem. It's like, yeah, there is a generation that is lost, and we need to take this very, very serious. In Kenya, where I originally come from, the matter of boy-child questions became a women topic. And then, because it became a women topic, the men neglected this topic, because they feel like it's again women. We are talking of boy child, it's again women. That's why we really have to develop the sensitivity that is needed to approach this matter. And I really don't understand. It's like, one commenter has said, like, she has a feeling that there's a breed of young people who really want to be prince and be taken care of. So if they want to be taken care of from the trauma world, it means something has gone wrong. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. If someone is really seeking to get attention or to be candled, or there is something that has gone wrong, maybe in the childhood, either the parental care or the society has really oppressed these young people to an extent that their self-worth is not being felt at all. So we need to attend to this topic, and I'm calling on all mothers that are present to talk about these topics to their young children. and young men so that we can know how to go about it. Another very, very important aspect that I want to talk about is tolerating one another. We can always have differences. It's okay. Where two human beings are, we would have differences. But why I feel this game or these differences is becoming dangerous, because it is again the same principle of divide and rule. Divide, hate black sisters, and then go for white women, because the white women, they are easygoing, because they don't ask questions, because they don't shout like the mothers. And the young man kept on confirming, boys, you know what I'm talking about. So this for me says that they need to be picked. We say in German, die muss abgeholt da wo die sind. They need to be picked up from where they are. And this is going to be really very with a lot of care. And this is going therapeutic. And we know that most of our African people, they don't want to hear about therapy. And it is a therapy or an accepting society, yeah, to say that, to get affirmation that you are okay, you are fine the way you are, you are a strong young man, you can make it. We start talking positive things. We don't just tell them you're thinking like a goat, you are behaving like a goat, you are good for nothing, all those things that integrates them. We need to start affirming. We need to start raising them. And I really don't want to get into trouble with women saying that we social workers, we are telling them to now take care of the men again. No, that's not the message. Any man who is not able to take care of himself is not worth also taking care of any woman. So it's not the duty of women alone to take care of the men, but we are talking of the children now. We are addressing women today as mothers who are also involved in upbringing children. We are saying talk affirmation, talk positive, telling them you can make it, telling them what is it that is not going, talk. The last time we ended the topic, we talked of breaking the culture of silence. We said it is okay for them to cry. I say here than tell your husbands to cry. Allow them to cry when they have emotions. Allow the young boys to cry when they have emotions, because if these tears don't change, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem because they are going to swallow this annoyance, and this annoyance is going to come out in one way or the other, and it's going to be not very nice. So the community needs to take this total responsibility and take care of what is not right. And I like it the way we have come up, the way women have come out together to shout, to cry, and to raise their voices and say, this is not right. And this is what even Jerry Kramer is saying. It's community responsibility, is the wholeness of all. And for us African social workers, we are approaching this matter from an holistic part of it, not only handling only the insult, but going some steps back to say what could be the reason, what went up, what went wrong. If now I come as a trauma expert, I'm going to go from the traumatic experiences. What is it that these young men have gone through to the extent that this it won't be that there? So we can approach it from different angles, and it all boils down to the same thing, to show that something is not right, and this is what is happening there, because these ones have also earned it from other young men, not these ones who made the video, but I've been in different discussions where I keep hearing they are no, don't go for, some of those prejudices that have been put in this video. It is reality. It is real.
Ma'am, let me come in again also here. There's some few things that really bothers my mind, and I don't know if we can talk here on that too. Yes, Dr. Jerry, thank you. And she says that white supremacy leads to trauma. That's very true, and that is maybe what we are also seeing as a result, because somehow they have to find a way to give back what the society is putting in them. I think that's Teresa who is saying that they are giving back what they have been putting into themselves. Now, but my question is, ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't want to also offend any mother because I'm a mother, but I want to be
Mhm.
just I just want to be, because we're having this conversation, I want to be open in our dialogue so that we can get the healing, the right healing.
Mhm.
I have this question that burns me for many, many years now.
Yeah.
We have many mothers that have gone through challenging relationships,
Yes.
that did not like how the when their relationship was. They didn't like the way their husband treated them. And yet this mother spent most of the time with their children. My question is this: how come that these mothers do not change the narratives in the lives of the boy child, especially when you don't like what is in the life of your husband? Is it because we just want to leave it like that, or we don't have the ability to change it, or we really need also help and really have to talk about it? That what you are desiring, because there's no woman who wants to have a man who will not help him or help her. There's no woman who wants to have a husband who just sits there and not help even with the house chores. There's no woman who don't like this attention to say, "Hey, I can cook for you today." There is no woman. And I mean, there's just no one I have not seen yet. Maybe there are some, but I have not yet seen. And if we like these good things, my question usually is, if the 80% of the women, not the majority, 80% are at home with their sons and their daughters, what went wrong? Where is the problem that we can give that which we are dreaming, wishing to our sons, so that they become good husbands to their own, to your daughter-in-law, and good fathers to your grandchildren?
This question is very, very interesting. What is happening? So this I can answer this question into two sections. The first section will be that these children, they are becoming, we talked of violence. That's why the marriage maybe broke down. That these children, they are doing what they saw their father do. We can talk about it this way. So it is coming out. That's why we always say, if in kindergarten, if you see a small child eating, this child has seen an adult at home, a trusted person hit someone. Yeah, this is clear. It is going to, if your child is that one that is always raising their hand on other children, then somebody somewhere has been raising his or her hand on this child. So whether we agree on this topic or not. So this can be one aspect why they are like that. So now the question, the second question is what we've talked about it. The second answer is what we've talked about it in details in the today, but at the very beginning, where we say that women are left alone to take care of the children. Maybe the fathers are working even when they are still present, and everything is too much in this society. Don't forget, this mother just came here as an adult. That means she's coming from a patriarch patriarchal family, or a society where it is, they are supposed the men are dominating and they are the ones taking lead. So when they come here to Europe, they feel that they want to raise such men like the men at home. So it's a reflection of the culture again, because she's now left alone, and because she maybe thinks, okay, this is how my father was, or this is how I was raised, and this is how I should raise my children. Even if she's against this, even if she went apart with the father of the children because of maybe violence or things like this, so she will be always hand on this man. And we always talk of generational things, that there are things that are given from generation to generation, and we carry the way our educating system is not fully compatible in this country. That's why most parents are having even problem with the youth department. We are told not to beat children. We are not told not to. There's also psychological abuse, which we hardly talk about it when we were growing up. So this is it. And the last thing is, there is this thing where he talks, men don't cry, or if a man is soft, his tone is like, he's not a man. He's either this or that. So, and the mothers, they don't want to have such soft boys. How many times have I heard sentences when I was growing up till today in my culture where I come from, and they say that you can't cry. A small boy, you can't cry because men don't cry. So who is in charge of bringing up children? It's the mother and the father. So if the father is absent, it's the mother who continues with this kind of training. So that's why we are saying that when it comes to upbringing children in this culture, the parents need to adapt also to some certain things in this culture, so that they cannot bring Rambos as future men. And then these Rambos, they are going to fall to a girl that has maybe been raised, protected like a queen, and she's going to be dropped to this macho boy that has been raised in this society. So we need to really try to adapt to other means of bringing up children in this society. And this is a bringing of dialogue and calling a spade a spade. If he's soft, it's nice. We want to have boys who are feminists. We want to have husbands who are feminists. And what is a feminist? Adichie Chimamanda saying that a feminist is somebody who is respecting and recognizing how a woman is supposed to be treated. Nobody saying that if a man is a feminist, he is like a woman, or he is, I don't want to mention things, but let's just raise feminists and let's talk of men. Let our sons say, I am a proud feminist. Let our husbands say, I am a proud feminist. Let them first of all try to understand what the word feminist mean. And then we will not have any problem in the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It is a very, very challenging conversation today, but we have just begun a new journey. And I think that the journey to put the male son or the male child also to support the male child, to empower the male child, because I think that the male child is also has been somehow forgotten because of the kind of way we think and because of the upbringing. And like I said before, women, I bring up the children that I have are not my children. They just came through me, and I do not want that my daughter-in-law comes one day and say, what kind of son did you give to me? I don't just want to have that. And I don't want my grandchildren to come one day and say, what kind of father is this? That's why for me, they are human beings and not boy or girl. And that's why I'm particularly grateful for the kind of husband God gave to me so that he could really help in pushing that forward. Maybe also because he also saw that in his own family line. I do not know. But now, man, we have to be rounding up also this conversation today. What would you tell our young men? Because we are having again the program, we're going to be talking about this again. And because I know that 1 hour is not enough, but we do not want to exceed the 1 hour. Today, we just wanted to provoke a conversation in the community so that the community is aware of the fact that the social workers are there. Remember, we said the social worker is there to solve the problem of the community, build the trust in the community so that we can continue again to help one another as a community, sustain one another, because we know only together we can go further. And we do not want to create make the young people also think that we are just throwing them out of the community. No, on the contrary, we have recognized that there is a problem somewhere and we want to step by step solve that problem. And this we can only do together as a community. Ma'am, any last word for our people so that we can prepare for the next program the next time?
Thank you. That's why I talked of a holistic approach. Let's talk of we need to continue this dialogue not only here on Facebook. Of course, we are going to have part 2, part 3, but we need also now to go and do a preventive approach. let's discuss. Let's go into discussion with our children, with our young male children. Let's go into moderating groups so that there will be no crushing. Let's professionals try to moderate discussions so that we can find a solution to this matter. And I want to appeal everyone that has been here and listening, try to share this video with someone, and try also to also watch this again and again, and try to recommend it also to fathers who have not been present here today, or to the mothers that have not been present here today, so that they can catch up with what they have missed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of this program today because we are wanting to stay on time and keep the time. And of course, we know that other people are going to watch the video after this. And so we don't want that it should be too long. But the message to take home today is there is a lot of work to do in the community. We all have assignments to do. The boy child needs support. The boy child needs mentors. The boy child needs assistance, as well as the girl child, as well as the fathers, as well as the mothers. The society in which we are really needs support, and we are there to support one another. We want to build a holistic approach of solving problems, and that's why we're going to continue this conversation, and we're going to have also a panel discussion whereby we intend to have both people, the victims, women, men, and everyone come so that we have a complete healing. Thank you so very much. We could not go to all the details of your comments, but we have seen everything. We're going to touch your comments after this video, and we appreciate you so very much for taking out your time. Thank you very much, because we know that your time is so precious, and yet you have given us the gift of the time. Thank you very much for supporting the community. Social workers alone cannot solve the problem. We need the community, and that's why the Ubuntu spirit continues. We are one for all for one, one for all for all, whatever it is. God bless you and take good care of yourself. Until we meet again, please stay safe and avoid any forms of hate. God bless you.